Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, Dancing with the Stars, week 5. It is 80s week on the show. We are going to be talking about the contestants and Tyra's very cringe lines. Those were a thing. Joining me is my co-host Grace, who is in character much better than I am for 80s week.
I do what I can. I couldn't find a scrunchie, though. I'm super annoyed.
Grace, how you doing? It's great to talk to you tonight. Dancing with the Stars. What's going on? Anything new with you?
Doing pretty rad. Not much going on in my life, but you know how it is.
That's why we have Dancing with the Stars. We
Always
go to it just for the new stuff. I almost said like a slip of like the right stuff, which we will talk about them. So, 80s week.
Yes.
Grace, are you a fan of this theme week on these shows?
I love 80s music, so I was all for it. I loved the costumes this week. The contestants, not the host.
There were multiple costumes from her. She who shall not be named.
Yeah, it was a fun night. A lot of people didn't think that the music worked with the dancing, but those are, purists, I guess.
I kind of see where they were coming from. Some of these song choices were like very weird. Like the Back to the Future song. I mean, and look, Grace, I've been honest on this podcast before. I know nothing about ballroom dancing. I'm just watching the show, the entertainment. Like I don't know like the differences. But
everything I've known about ballroom dancing I've learned from watching the show pretty much.
Yeah. So all I know is like a contemporary means a moment. A jive is like high energy. This is when we get like the jazzes. I've never understood what the jazzes are. Like I just think when you say jazz on the show, I just think it's a dance that's going to go for more like character than content.
It's a more modern style of dance. Like the thing with jazz and contemporary is they were added to the show mainly just to continue to grow with the times. And they're very popular in like dance competitions, like more mainstream. So I think that's what they were going for. And yeah, I know Matthew was ripping on the band all night.
Yeah, some of the vocalists were just like, I didn't really know what was kind of going on. But yeah, I love 80s week, like when it's the actual singing, like on American Idol. I don't know how I feel so much on Dancing with the Stars. I feel like on Dancing with the Stars, it's just a reason for the costumes, the lines. And you know what? Unless you're really into it, I feel like it's going to feel really cheesy. Like for me personally, I wasn't as into it. So it did like some of the cheese did go a little grating. But that's just me. What about you though? Did you get that vibe at all?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, some of these, like, they kind of, I get that they had to pick 80s music, and I get that the couples had absolutely no say in the music, but some of these songs to dance styles, just for me, were not really, no pun intended, jiving.
Oh, God. Look at you with the puns. That's my territory. You can't. Unless there's like,
I can't do episode titles, and now I can't do puns either.
You can do episode titles.
According to Eric, that's his thing, but he's not here.
You know what? Eric's not here. It's like when the cat is away, the mice will play. Is that the saying? Like something like that.
Oh, good. Cat puns are back.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? I gotta get them where I can. So we have 80s week. We have a lot of costumes. We have what did you think of the costumes? Were they on point? Were they?
Some of them were fun. Sasha's though was giving me mad like what Bruno was like in the 80s vibes probably. And I'm kind of glad that nobody did I'm Still Standing because Bruno was actually in the music video for that song.
The original?
He was in the music video, yeah, with like these tiny little shorts. Go watch it after the show. It's really cringy.
I'm afraid to. Well,
but it's Elton John, so.
Okay. So let's get into these contestants. So, Justina Machado and Sasha doing a jazz. This performance, I feel like I didn't know what was happening. Like, it starts out where it's like someone's judging a dancer. Like, that's the story. Because I'm into the story. Like, to hell with my knowledge of ballroom dancing. I'm going to try to follow the story.
Well,
so it starts
ballroom.
out.
This is jazz.
So he's watching the lady dance, and then all of a sudden it turns into like a workout video, and I was very confused.
Yeah, I guess.
What did you think?
I thought it was really fun. It felt very 80s. It was a good way to start the night. And I loved at the end when she like pulled the rope and water came down on her, because that's a tribute to Flashdance, which is Maniac is in Flashdance. That's where the song gained its notoriety. Yeah.
I love this. And
It was so fun.
I love her. Like, she's just a joy to watch. She's like, everything is kind of, all the boxes are ticked. Is she on my team?
No,
like
she's on mine.
Should have picked her. Because I gotta tell you, like, my team's not looking too great.
I still think you can win. I wouldn't count you out just yet.
Who would be my winning team member? And don't say Johnny Weir.
Either him or Sky. Like, I don't think that... Jeannie might have a small chance. Monica has no chance.
Yeah, Matthew in the chat says he admired the water. Yeah, I thought it was fun.
I knew they were going to do it. I knew they were going to do it.
It was cool.
All
it was
8.
Fun.
I think it was fair.
Yeah, straight 8s. I think enjoyable performance. I don't think she's in trouble anywhere anytime now. I can see her in the finale, honestly.
Maybe. I still don't think she can win.
Well, Jesse Metcalf and Sharna Grace, it finally happened. John Tucker
died.
John Tucker. They are doing a tango. Wow, you must have been. What was your thought? Like, forget Jesse Metcalf of it for the moment. What was your thoughts on Sharna going out so early in this season?
I mean, I've seen it happen before. Kind of hope this is how season 27 ended for her. But yeah, it was a rough week to be Sharna, because not only did Jessie get voted off, but her second employer, Dancing with the Stars Australia, where she's a judge, actually got canceled today. So it is a rough week to be her.
Rough week. But was the dance rough? And I'm just going to go spoiler alert. Yes, it was pretty rough. Right, Grace?
Yeah, I mean, Everybody Wants to Rule the World is a really hard song because it's in compound meter, so it's hard to count because you have that duple feel, you've got that triple feel at the same time.
Yeah, it does have like a weird
Yeah, it's in
rhythm
compound.
to it.
It's in 12/8. So you've got that I'm going all Harry Connick Jr. on us, but I don't care.
Oh God. But what did you think? How did the dance itself go?
I really didn't like it. I thought Sharna kind of looked like Pink. I don't know what was up with that hair.
I was thinking the same thing. I totally agree.
The way they remixed the music too was like weird. It just, I don't know. Jesse started out really well. He was committing, and then he just kind of fizzled out. And yeah, Sharna got voted off Dancing with the Stars Showdown this week with Hinch.
Oh God.
Yeah, not a good week for Sharna Burgess, and
not a good week for John Tucker either.
No, I mean he fizzled out very quickly.
Look, I don't think he was ever going to win, or either. I think he was always this middle grade contestant. I think he just went home a little. I think at best case, he was looking at like top 10. Like, I think it makes sense. What?
Which would have only been 2 more weeks because we've got 11 now.
Yeah, so not a surprise. I mean, the performance itself was just super awkward. That's the word I would use to describe it. Like, he just was like, which it's kind of the same thing I have with Nelly later on. Like, he reminds me, like, they're just they're not going all the way in, like they're not committing.
He started out committing, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's all.
And he got the lowest. He tied for bottom of the leaderboard. So when he was in the bottom 2, I knew he was done.
Well, we move on to Kershell and Gleb doing a cha-cha-cha. Yeah, this was a bit rough. This one was a rough one. What did you think, Grace?
I mean, part of me was surprised that they didn't mention that Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block was on the show before, but then I remember that he was on season 1, and the first, I think every season before the All-Star season is just completely cast off now.
They might have had to acknowledge Tom Bergeron. There might have been like a clip of him like standing with him.
I don't think we can forget him because we really can't. Honestly though, I didn't think there was a lot of content. I kind of almost wished it had been a jazz number and not a cha-cha, so then they could have actually done the New Kids on the Block stuff. They weren't really 100% together. I didn't really care for it. And I mean, also Derek with the whole place and throw thing. Now it's a new name for it with the arms.
Does jazz just not have content? Like, what? How do you?
Jazz doesn't have like strict rules. Like ballroom, there are rules. There are things that they have to follow. Jazz and contemporary, they really don't.
All I'm gonna say is, I feel like I've never seen a 10 come from a jazz.
Oh, I have. Mostly later in the season, but
yeah, I don't know, but not too much really to say here. The most fun part was her whole story with the New Kids on the Block, and that
turning into a giant fangirl.
Yeah, that was kind of the highlight here. But Jeannie Mai and Brandon doing a jazz.
Matthew said jazz is like a freestyle, kind of.
Yeah, I also always know it's a jazz. Like jazzes are always during the middle of the season. Like you always see them for like the beginning.
This is the first week we had seen them.
Yeah.
This season.
Well, Jeannie and Brandon are doing Like a Virgin. I think that was
family show, people.
Yeah, very. They made such a big deal about the bathtub being a prop. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, Grace.
I mean, thank God she wasn't like wearing a cone bra or anything ridiculous like that, because Madonna is known for that. Although I think that's more Vogue than like a virgin. I thought it was okay, but for me, and I'm probably going to say this a bunch, jazz numbers really don't wow me unless they're spectacular, and this early, nothing is going to be. I thought it was okay, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. But like that's the thing with jazz for me. Like of what I've seen, they're always good. They're just never a 10. Like there's never. It's just kind of
not this early anyway.
It's going for the show more than like the dance, if that makes fitting it. What I'm thinking of like when we used to have a lot of jazzes during Disney night, like in previous seasons, and those would be like they would go all into like reenacting scenes from Beauty and the Beast, or like it was more that than actual the dance. And that's my looking through a window into what I've understood just from watching people doing this, because
I thought all 8s was fair though.
Yeah, I mean it was still good. Like I don't think she wins though. I think she goes 6th, I think at best.
I can see her making the semifinals, but that's about as far as I think she can go. I don't think she can win.
Well, do you think Monica Aldama could maybe make it there? She is doing a tango with Val. Bit of a surprise how good this was, in my opinion. Grace, what did you think?
I didn't really like the song. Like they kept it a little bit under tempo, and I didn't like that. Bruno pointed out that she was grabbing onto Val, and I couldn't tell because like her left elbow was like in a weird spot. I mean, the judges loved it way more than I did. Clearly, and I agree with this, they are padding her scores because they don't want her to go home. It's the same thing they did last season to Allie Brooke. She did not deserve 2 9s. There were couples that were better than her that did not get a single 9. And it's kind of starting to tick me off.
I can actually see her like holding like I can see that what they're talking about. Is that big of a thing? I feel like later on in the season
that shows like you're kind of like insecure or scared or whatever.
All right, but like I feel like they are willing to forgive those kind of things later on in the show because they just need the moment of it all, but good for her that was like one of the best highest scores of the night, right? 2nd?
Yeah, she got a 26, but like I said, it's padding because they don't want her to leave.
Why don't they want her to leave? What's the bias towards Monica?
I don't know. She was in the bottom 2 last week, so I think that might have been a scare, and maybe they want to send Vernon and Nellie and Kershell home before they send her home.
But
they did the same thing to They did the same thing last season to Allie Brooke, and I think it's wrong.
All right. Well, we move on to AJ
Now let's
McLean and
start the bus.
Cheryl doing a waltz. There's a bus. Tell me about the bus, Grace.
The bus is heading straight for AJ. And I'm really not happy about it. Partly because I want him to win, and partly because he was better than Monica and he did not get a single 9.
I'm just saying, as he crumbles, hashtag Team Hot Mess, we rise in our win equity. And look, I'm surprised AJ's doing as good as he is in the competition. And
I'm really
look,
not.
You're not surprised.
No. Boy banders always do really well.
But look, I don't think he's in trouble next week. I think he'll be fine. Like,
oh yeah, he's got a lot of support.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I think I think the bus might be kind of having the like reverse psychology on the audience. Like, look, go vote for him.
I'm hoping that's what I mean, it worked for me because I voted for him double. He got online votes and text votes for me.
Well, from Grace's number 1 draft pick, we go to my number 1 draft pick. Sky, Jackson, and Alan. They are doing a jazz.
The only celebrity contestant who was not alive in the 80s.
I wasn't alive in the 80s.
Neither was I.
Yeah. But what a weird... This was a very weird dance, Grace, and that's how I would describe it.
It was clean. Like, she did well with what she had. And I thought, again, better than Monica, and she got all 8s.
I have a question, Grace. Do the contestants have any say in, like, the songs, the dance, the performance itself? Do they get any pick? Really? Like,
I think some weeks they get to pick the songs, like Most Memorable Year Week, but I know they don't pick the routines. And most of the time I feel like the music is just handed to them.
Yeah, because I can't see this coming from either the mind of her or him. Like, I feel like this is a producer going like, hey, what if we did like Back to the Future? Like, we'll have like the background will say all the dates. It's gonna be great. Sky, you're gonna be great. Go do it. And Sky's just like,
she did it well, like I said.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, she still got straight 8s.
Yeah.
But yeah, just very weird. That's kind of what I gotta say. But from that weird, I feel like we go even to a little more weird. Vernon Davis and Peta doing a tango.
What was that wig? I mean, there were awful wigs all night.
What was this? Like, what is happening on this show?
I mean, yeah, Matthew's like, they make suggestions, but they don't get the final say. That's pretty much, because I mean, Lizzie mentioned that because she's been doing recaps of the show, home pregnant, and people have been asking her fan questions. So if you have a question for her, go on the Arnold Sisters YouTube and ask her. She might answer it. But yeah, I mean, that wig was just
very strange. And I think Vernon's days are numbered here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think I wasn't all that surprised he was in the bottom 2. I was a little upset about it. I mean, between him and Jesse, I was kind of like, I don't really care.
Send them both home.
Oh, I say that every week.
Except for Carol Baskin.
Oh no, the week it was Carol and Charles, I was literally like, send them both home.
I don't really have much to say here. It was just
I think he's going to be my team's first casualty.
How many people are left on my team?
4.
I have 4 people left. There's like 12 people.
There's 11 now, but yeah.
Oh God, 4 to. You know what? Team Hot Mess. We got this. It's gonna happen.
That's what happens when you pick Carol Baskin and trust Bobby Bones to round out your team. Although Bobby Bones' pick is still there, so.
But I didn't pick Caitlin Bristow and Artem doing a tango. I gotta tell you, I watched this, and the first thing that came to my mind is he looks a lot like he's dressed like SpongeBob.
Yeah, you said that on Twitter.
And am I right? Like, does it?
I didn't see it until then, but now I like really want Ethan Slater on next season.
I still have no idea who that is.
He played SpongeBob on the Broadway show.
Did you see the Broadway show?
I did.
And?
It's awesome.
What's it about? Like, what actually happens in that play?
So it's a musical, first of all. Don't mix the two up.
Okay. What did I say?
You said play.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
So yeah, so Mount Humongous is going to erupt, and everybody's in a panic, mostly because Plankton tries to thwart them all to escape. So then SpongeBob
Plankton
teams
wants
up.
them all to burn?
Basically, yeah. So SpongeBob teams up with Patrick and Sandy to stop the volcano, and they do it. And Squidward tap dances, and it's amazing. They showed it on Nickelodeon, and there's going to be a DVD coming out. It's so good, I swear. And they sing The Best Day Ever at the end.
Well, if Ethan Slater can't do the show anymore, we might have a replacement.
Well, the show's closed. The show closed a few years ago. And there's no Broadway right now.
There's no anything. There's no fun. There's just our podcast. That's all there is.
There's no fun. I mean, Caitlin was fun.
I will say I love this song.
I don't know if it works for a tango.
Funny thing. So I only recently discovered the song because I binge watched Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, you said that last week.
It's one of those things where you hear a song for like the first time on a TV show or something, and then it just keeps popping up in other places. And I start thinking like, are they doing this song because it was on Umbrella Academy? Like, that's how I always.
This song is older than Umbrella Academy. The thing that pops
I
into
know
my
that,
head,
but like because Umbrella Academy kind of gave it another life, and now they're like, oh, 80s.
Well, a more appropriate like 80s tie-in. There was an episode of Full House where Danny was working late, so Joey was in charge of the girls, and they convinced him to let them watch a Tiffany concert live from Tokyo past their bedtime. So they're at home watching it and dancing along, and then Danny walks back in the door, and he's like, what's going on?
Did you have a favorite song that was done this episode?
Total Eclipse of the Heart. I love that song so much.
I would put this one as my personal favorite, just song choice.
When they break danced in the middle of this dance, Caitlin and Artem, Len would have absolutely hated that, but I thought they did it well because they were about to lose me before that.
It was like there's this one part where it's just like kind of boring. Like, look, I'm just here for the show. I want to be entertained, and it was it needed that breakdance kind of part.
It needed something because like there's no like fire or emotion to this song. It's a corny 80s pop song. Yeah.
And they kind of like they tried. I feel like as much as I enjoy the song, like I feel like it's a weird dance thing. I don't know. But they got 9s.
All 9s.
Straight 9s. But you know who didn't get a 9? Nelly and Daniela. How do you like these transitions? Like,
nope. Yeah.
No? Not a fan?
No, I'm just saying that you didn't get 9s. That he didn't get 9s. No. He got 8.
Nelly, he got straight 8s. Nelly and Daniela doing a samba. I don't get this. Like Nelly, how people are talking like I'm seeing a lot of fans of him. I don't see it, Grace.
I mean, the first thing that I noticed was when Daniela said she was born in the 90s. Like, I did not realize she was that young.
Being born in the 90s is like you're between 30 and 20, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, she was born in 1992, but even still, like, she's only 2 years younger than me. 2 years older than me, excuse me. She's 7 years younger than Pasha, who's her husband. That's a gap right there. Wait till Derek and Haley, because they're pretty much the same gap. We'll talk about them next week.
Well, I will say this dance, it just seems very placed. Like I said with Jesse, he's just not willing to kind of go that extra, like, what's the word? Like
extra mile.
not extra mile, to just give into it more. I
Mhm.
guess like he's still holding back. He's still like trying. There's that stiffness there, Grace.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was probably his best dance. I don't know what
Wow.
his issue is with the Cuban heels. I don't need him to go all Master P on us and refuse to wear
Oh
actual
God.
shoes.
But
But
I will say the dance itself also is a little boring.
yeah,
Hmm.
I would not
Well,
be surprised if he fizzles out in a few weeks.
next
I
up,
think Vernon, and Kershell are probably going to be the next three gone in some order, with maybe Monica thrown in there just to spice things up.
who's because we need some spice. Who's first of those people you listed?
That's a great question. I mean, if Vernon is in the bottom two next week, he's out. Unless he's there with Kershell, then it could go either way.
Well, Johnny Weir and Britt doing a contemporary. And like I said, I know nothing about ballroom dancing, but every time I hear contemporary, I'm like, well, you know,
Especially with figure skaters, because Britt even mentioned this is the closest to figure skating. I have been waiting for this number. It was so good. And
I
I
was
hate
going to
that
say
he's
more
on
in
your team.
general. I was going to say, like, in general, like, whenever you hear a contemporary, it's going to be one of the peaks of their runs on Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their highest moment. But, yeah, very well done. I mean,
So good. Those
is
lifts. Mhm.
was this their first double 10 of the season?
Yeah, this was the highest score of the season so far.
And he's on my team.
Yes, he is.
And we could win, maybe.
I still think
I
he
don't
can.
know. Look, very well done. It was the stage was kind of set. It almost looked like a skating rink, weirdly.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense. And yeah, just we're gonna win this.
Don't count your chickens, dude.
Well, from Johnny, we go to Neve, who is on your team. He was picked last overall, right?
No, Kershell was my last pick.
Oh, he was one of the last. That's
Mm-hmm.
a better. Um, yeah, and I gotta tell you, the staging. I don't even know what to make it. Like the staging is cool. The costumes are very hit or miss. This was a bit of a miss for me in terms of the costumes, Grace.
I don't really remember the costumes. But also I know that Take on Me has been done for several quick steps on the show. Like I said, Mel B did it, Allie Brooke did it last season. This was definitely the best quick step of the season. They did break hold a few times because I've mentioned this before. When quick step, once you're in hold, you have to stay there. You can break hold in the beginning, you can break hold at the end, you can't break it in the middle and then come back. And I'm a little surprised that they did not get slammed for that. But I'm not a judge.
Why would you ever do a quick step then? Quick steps just seem like so limiting. Like you're just putting yourself into a bit of a box.
A lot of the dances on this show are limiting. But hey, he got 2 nines.
Yeah. And good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
I still don't see I think he's also in trouble at 6. I think that's where he's
I think the first time he's in the bottom 2, he'll survive. After that, who knows?
Well, we get to the results. The bottom 2. Who were the bottom 2? It was Vernon and
Vernon
Peta
and Jesse.
Jesse and Sharna. And a clean sweep
Mm-hmm.
to send Jesse home. Like I
Yep.
said, I would have tossed them both, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I actually didn't remember tweeting after Jesse danced John Tucker might die. I didn't remember
I saw
tweeting that
that.
after his dance.
I think I wrote like,
yeah, you
Grace,
responded
no.
to it. I was like, I don't remember this. And then when he got eliminated, I tweeted John Tucker has died.
Oh, God.
So yes, R.I.P. John Tucker. R.I.P. 80s week.
Well, that was the 80s week, but what's on the horizon?
Okay, so next week is top 11. There is no theme. But we do get a dance from Derek and his girlfriend, former troop member and Dancing with the Stars Juniors pro, Haley Erbert. They're doing a special Paso Doble.
Special.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's the first time that Derek's danced on the show, I think, in 4 years. So that's going to be the headline of the night.
I want him to be a coach again. Is that the word? A partner?
You want him to be a pro again?
Yeah.
I don't know. He had a lot of success. Vernon's probably next to go. Matthew, I see your point. I don't see him surviving another bottom 2 trip.
Do we have the song spoilers for next week?
I do. Okay. So
yeah, Grace.
Like I said, no real theme. Like I said, no theme. Tyra's catwalk is going to be to "I'm Coming Out" by Diana Ross.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the actual part of the show. Again, alphabetical by celebrity's last name. Monica and Val are dancing the rumba to "Have I Told You Lately" by Rod Stewart. Can they go home just for that?
God.
Can't stand that. All right. Caitlin and Artem are doing a samba to "Sorry" by Justin Bieber. Wonder if they'll do the Spanish.
Yeah, this is a very weird combination of songs.
I wonder if they'll do the Spanish version. I don't know. Vernon and Peta are doing a cha-cha to "Celebration." As long as they do the original and not the Ross Geller version, I'm good with that.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah, no bagpipes on this show, please.
God.
All right. Sky and Alan are doing a cha-cha to "Say So" by Dojo Cat.
I don't know that song.
I only know it from TikTok.
How does it go?
Didn't even notice the punches that you roll with. You got to keep it focused. You want to stay. Yeah, do not ever make me do a TikTok.
Grace is having a breakdown. Grace is giving a whole breakdown.
I am. All right. Justina and Sasha are doing a Viennese waltz to "She's Always a Woman," Billy Joel.
She's always a woman to me.
Yeah, that's a good song for it.
I love Billy Joel. He's the man. I actually play some of his music on piano.
My dad's a huge fan of his. He has all of his CDs. Seen him in concert several times.
Have you seen him in live?
I have not, no. Anyway, seen him with Elton John several times too. They did a couple concerts together.
All right.
AJ and Cheryl are doing a samba to "Mi Gente."
I will be honest. I think I saw one song spoiler, and it was not that one. But once I saw it, I had like PTSD flashbacks to like a couple of years. You might know which one I'm thinking of.
We'll see. Has it been said yet?
No.
Sky, Justine, and Johnny are most anticipated. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about a Johnny salsa. All right. Jeannie and Brandon are doing a rumba to "You Gotta Be" by Desiree. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. All right, I'm not gonna start. Again, we're not getting copyright.
I would have backed you up.
All right, Nellie and Daniela are doing a Viennese waltz to "Humble and Kind." It's a Tim McGraw song. David Ross did it a few years ago. And actually, Nelly and Tim McGraw have worked together before, so he probably has a more personal connection. All right. Neve and Jenna are doing jazz to "Good Vibrations" by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I don't know that one either.
It's such a good vibration. Please don't start singing.
I don't know it. I can't sing it if I don't know it.
All right. Kershell and Gleb are doing a contemporary to "Stars," Grace Potter.
That's a weird song well, no, actually it works.
Well, actually, she's apparently dedicating this song to her deceased parents, which will earn her some votes for sure.
All right.
If only they could get Cree to sing it, which they're not going to do. And last but certainly not least, Johnny and Britt are doing a salsa to "On the Floor."
There it is.
J-Lo.
Oh, God. I remember.
I'm surprised they're acknowledging J-Lo on the other dance show.
Yeah, that is a bit of a surprise. I just remember the song from
Eric is a judge on that show too, so.
I just remember this was on American Idol. The only reason I like have such memories of this song was she performed it on American Idol, and on American Idol you perform live, and she lip synced.
Yeah, J-Lo doesn't perform live.
Isn't that a bit like hypocritical, you know?
What, for her to be judging singers who sing live and she doesn't herself?
Yeah. Isn't that like a little, it's like the students like doing something when the teacher's gonna like phone it in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, Grace.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, so that's kind of what's on the horizon.
Yeah, we got
Overall,
through this quick.
yeah, this went really fast. So let's do our own filler.
All right, as long as we don't start singing and dancing.
We could sing and dance. I mean, I'm not a good singer or dancer. It'll be like a chicken dancing, but I can do like the sprinkler. That's my go-to. Like at weddings, I do the sprinkler. I can do. Oh God. but Grace, are you enjoying the season? Like, what are your thoughts? Is this top tier season, middle tier season, lower tier season, graveyard level season? Where does it go for you?
I mean, for me, there's only 2 graveyard level seasons, and excuse me, we don't talk about those here.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. That was like a half sneeze. Anywho, yeah, I'm enjoying this season more than I thought I would. But I mean, would I call this the best season ever? No.
I would describe it as a no pressure season. Like I have no personal horse in the race. Like I'm just here for the lulls and to see what happens. I'm just like
here to enjoy my Monday night.
I just want something to happen. Even Tyra for as cringy.
Last week, Tyra had the cringiest moment I've seen on this show since Marie Osmond passed out on stage.
That couldn't have really happened.
It did. It did happen.
What did Tom say?
He just like immediately cut to commercial. Actually, no, her freestyle was pretty cringy. But that's another story. Worst freestyle I've ever seen.
Wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, I was saying, wouldn't next week be Halloween week? But no, that's 2 weeks.
Usually this Monday before Halloween is Halloween week.
Do you have
we get team dances, but that's not happening this year.
Do you have a costume lined up for Halloween week?
I don't like Halloween.
No?
I might figure something out, though.
Are you like, I don't know. I would have to do some kind of costume.
Apparently they're all doing villains.
Oh, I could be Waldo. Like, I'll have the hat, like the shirt.
Is Waldo a villain?
You know, everyone's a villain in their own story.
And pretend to be Bobby Bones.
You know who Waldo's the villain of?
The Stars villain.
He's like the 10-year-old kids reading those books. He's their villains because they can't find him.
Oh, Waldo. No, like I said, just put on a pair of geeky glasses and say you're Bobby Bones. Because he is the biggest Dancing with the Stars villain.
Every day is Halloween. Is it that way, Grace?
I mean, this week was our Halloween week. We had team dances tonight, so I know I said we couldn't start because I had to have my scores in by 7, but I didn't realize that it was team dance night because there's only 4 of them, not 17. Like we've got couples dances Saturday. But
how's the season been going so far?
It's actually fun. I mean, it's an all-star season, so like everyone's good. We did lose Allie Raisman, which made me sad, but I'm not surprised. Because if there were a real all-star season, she wouldn't make it very far.
Well, Grace, do you have any final thoughts on the episode, the night? Anything you really want to touch base on, or did anything?
Any bets on whether or not Derek's going to propose on Monday? Because there's guesses all over the fandom.
I'm going to say no.
You don't think he will?
Too obvious. It's going to happen as soon as they cut to commercial, and we're all going to miss it.
Or he's going to like do it off camera. Oh yeah, speaking of proposals, again, Bobby Bones. Not only is he coming back to American Idol, which is terrible, he did get engaged.
Oh God, there's such weird. This week was so weird in terms of news. Like I was at the gym, and my phone lights up with a message that Demi Lovato's ex has now been spotted with Sonica from American Idol. I was like, what?
That's so weird.
What is happening?
Matthew thinks Derek will propose.
All right. What's your prediction? Are you with me or with Matthew? I'm saying no. He's saying yes. Don't be Fancy Fencerton.
I'm going to go yes.
Well.
But if he doesn't, I will not be upset.
How about if I guess right, I get one member of your team. Like Vernon. Like I get Vernon.
Yes, but you have to pick it during the show before the elimination.
What? I'd pick.
Well, because if Vernon goes home,
I'm picking now. Like, I'm gonna say no. There's no proposal. So if he doesn't go home, he joins my team.
okay.
Deal?
Deal.
We have a deal?
Yes, we could shake on it. Boom.
Boom.
No, that's
I'm about
another
to have
Full House
5
reference.
people
Let's
on my
shake on
team.
it.
Well, I want to say I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox or on my website, adamsoapbox.com, and my YouTube channel, Adam Samuel. Link in the description because you will not find it otherwise.
If you look up
Where
Adam
can we
Samuel book reviews, would that find you?
I'm sure there's 10 of those too. Where can we find you, Grace?
Reality2_Grace on Twitter. I am also. Oh, you do come up if I search Adam Samuel book reviews. Your Soul on a Monday one comes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
I gotta do a new video.
I'm also a judge on Dancing with the Stars Showdown. It's at DWTS Showdown on Twitter. No characters, no other things. And this week we're doing Halloween week. We had team dances tonight. We have our couples dances on Saturday.
And I have my next book review is going to be Grace. Have you ever heard Hyperbole and a Half?
No, you messaged me about it.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of books.
It's not like so it started out as a blog. Like this person just blogged and it was like cartoons. Like it was did you see the link I sent you? Like it's
I did. I didn't look at it. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, it's like very light and kind of but it deals with serious subjects and it's brilliant and I would recommend it. I am reviewing the sequel to it, Solutions and Other Problems. But Grace, thank you so much for joining.
Did you hear about our deal? If I win the draft, what you have to do?
What do I have to do again?
You have to read and review one of Bobby Bones's books.
You know what? It's a deal. We got a deal on it. Grace, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And to our viewers, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. Till then, we got to find out what Tyra lines she's gonna say. But later.
Bye.